Hey fam, it's about that time. Your girl is back. Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Uh-oh. Look, I pressed the wrong button. Remove. Hey fam, it is your girl, Michelle. Look, Michelle Allen Franklin. Y'all know me out in these internet streets. Mrs. Michelle D.I. Why for divine intervention, baby? There are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl is always going to give you the good information, honey. The things that you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your good emotions. That's what we do every day, all day. Yes. Um, Look, how y'all doing? How you doing? How y'all been? How y'all doing? Listen, I am back with our series for gratitude. I owe you an apology. Your girl has been gone for a few days. Listen, I talk a lot about self-sabotaging behavior. I talk a lot about grief. I talk a lot about depression, anxiety. I talk a lot about showing up every day. And I was like, oh my God, people are going to really think that something is going on with me. Well, I am grieving. Things are going on. But one of the things that I did not take into consideration when I did this, when I started the series, is that I was fasting and also grieving, right? And so my energy just kind of plummeted down. I had to take a few days, recharge. Again, your girl loves to pour, but I truly now understand and know that I have to fill my cup before I can start pouring. So with every good intention that I had to show up daily, I didn't realize I was exuding a lot of energy. I was taking a lot of energy. And as much as I want to stay up and go up and get up and do things, I couldn't, y'all. I didn't have the energy. I needed to rest. And so that's what I've been doing. I have been resting. I have been recharging. I've been refilling my cup so that I can get up here and show off. Look, show up and show out for you guys. Okay. So, honey, you got to practice what you preach. And what does that mean for people that are out there doing? I call us the helper bees in the world. It means that sometimes with every good intention you can have, you got to just rewrite the plan. And that's okay. Right? Some people are like, no, you're supposed to keep going. You're supposed to press through. You're supposed to do this. And sometimes you are, right? And sometimes you need to rest. Okay. That's where we're at. Today is March the 26th, 2024. Listen, this morning around 1:30 in the morning, your girl is from from Baltimore, Maryland, for those of y'all that don't know, and loves me some More right now. My family, my city, people are grieving. It is a devastating act that has happened this morning, and I cannot even begin or start without sending prayers, sending love up there to the families that have been affected. If you have not heard, this morning around 1:30 in the morning, a cargo ship ran into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The Francis Scott Key Bridge is utilized by reports that I heard this morning by over 30,000 people daily traveling to and from work. The blessing in the storm, if there is, right? I always try to pull the name of this series is called Finding Some Positive in the Crazy. If you can pull some positive in the crazy, the accident happened at 1:30 in the morning and not during rush hour traffic. And so they said about 20 individuals that they were looking for when this first started. I do not know at this point if they had found all of them at this point. It was my understanding that all of them had not been found. But people were being rushed to the hospital. Some people were still missing. And so I just thought about There were construction workers that they're saying, and people that were cars and things that were on the bridge. And so this morning I thought, when I initially heard, Lord, you just get up to go to work, right? But those construction workers that just got up to go to work this morning, for the people that were on the ship that just got up to go to work this morning. We all get up to go to work in the morning, and we never know. And so for those people, and for each and every one of you, and for anybody else that may be suffering in this horrific tragedy, I want to take a moment of silence, and then I want to say a prayer, and then I want to take a moment of silence. And so I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer, because in times of trouble, the only thing that I know to do that is effective is to pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. And now, just a moment of silence for those people, and praying in solidarity with the city of Baltimore today. In my heart, I counted to 20 for each individual that is deemed to have been affected. And so just thanking God in the moment for in advance for those people, that the workers that are out there looking and searching, and giving them the strength and the energy that they need to do their jobs and to help these families and these people and these individuals. I had wrestled with what day to start on. Do I start on the 15th, the day that we, continue from the day that we finished the practice, the day that we stopped, the day that I was last on? Or do I start with today and just go forward from there? And I was talking to my mom about it, and she said, no, but people that have been following along, just go ahead and start. And I thought, okay, that makes sense. And then today, out of everything that is happening, I thought, God's timing, his divine timing is everything. So today, as we continue on with our gratitude practice from Miss Rhonda Burns, The Magic, is day 15. The magic practice today is magically healing your relationships. Imagine if someone that you've been upset with, some family member, some loved one that you haven't spoken to, that you're feeling some kind of way about. Imagine if something happened to them today, just as something happened this morning at 1:30 in the morning in Baltimore. Imagine how you would feel. And so I know for me, it really hit home, because I have people that I haven't talked to. I've had people that I've been very angry with. I've had people, I share it very transparently, right? That is what this walk is about. It is about just transparency and healing, creating a space for you to have these uncomfortable but necessary conversations with who, boo? With you. That's what we do. Your girl, Michelle D.I., that's what I do. I have programs for it. And today, day 15, magically healing your relationships. Let's get into it. If you have a difficult or broken relationship, are suffering from a broken heart, or hold any resentment or blame toward another person for anything, you can change it through gratitude. Gratitude will magically improve any difficult relationship, whether that person is a husband or a wife, a brother or sister, son or daughter, partner, boss, business client, work colleague, mother or father in law, parent, friend, or neighbor. When we are faced with a difficult relationship or a challenging situation in a relationship, in almost all cases, we're not in the least bit grateful for the other person. Instead, we're busy blaming the other person for the problems we have with them. And that means we don't have a shred of gratitude. Blame is never going to make a relationship better, and it's never going to make your life better. In fact, the more you blame, the worse the relationship gets, and the worse your life gets. Take that in. Think about that thing. Whether it's a current relationship or a past relationship, if you harbor bad feelings toward another person, practicing gratitude will eliminate those feelings. Why would you want to remove your bad feelings about another person? Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, says holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. That's good. Go ahead, Buddha. Bad feelings about another person burn your life, but gratitude will eliminate them. For example, if you have an ex-partner who is connected to you through your children and the relationship isn't good, look at your children's faces and realize they wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for your ex-partner. Your children's lives are one of the most precious gifts you have. Look at your children and give thanks to your ex-partner for their lives every single day, as well as bringing peace and harmony to the relationship. Through your example, you will be teaching your children the greatest tool for their life, which is gratitude. Or if you're suffering from a broken heart or grief due to a relationship ending, you can use gratitude's magical power to transform your pain. Gratitude magically transforms emotionally pain into healing and happiness faster than anything else. And the story of my partner is a perfect example of that. My mother and father, my thing keeps stopping. Hang on one second, y'all. Thank you for your look. Thank you for your patience. I feel like I'm taking a sip of water during the show. Wait a minute. Okay. My mother and father fell in love with each other virtually at first sight. From the moment they met, they were truly grateful to be with each other, and they had the most beautiful marriage I had ever seen. When my father died, my mother understandably suffered from enormous grief. After months of suffering, she began to use gratitude's magical power, and despite her immense grief and pain, she looked for things to be grateful for. She began with the past. and she recalled all the wonderful times of happiness she had received through the decades with my father. Then she took the next big step and she looked for things to be grateful for in the future. One by one, she found them. She found or remembered things she had always wanted to do, but didn't have time to do with my father, when my father was alive. And with this courageous step of gratitude, opportunities to fulfill her dreams magically poured in, and her life became rich with happiness again. The magical power of gratitude gave my mother a new life. But today's magical practice, you are going to look for a hot coal that is burning your life and literally turn it into gold through gratitude. Choose one difficult, problematic, or broken relationship that you want to improve. It doesn't matter whether the person is currently in your life or if it's a past relationship and the person is no longer in your life. Sit down and make a written list of 10 things you're grateful for about the person you've chosen. Think back through the history of the relationships and list the great things about the person or the great things you received from the relationship. The easiest way to do this is to think back to the way things were before the relationship deteriorated or ended. If the relationship was never good, then think hard about any qualities in the person because they are there. This magical practice is not about who is right or wrong. No matter what you feel someone has done to you, no matter what someone said or didn't do, you can magically heal the relationship, and you don't need the other person in order to heal it. That's key, guys. You don't need the other person in order to heal it. There is gold in every relationship, even the difficult ones. And to bring riches to all your relationships and your life, you have to find the gold. As you dig and discover a nugget of gold, write it down. Address the person by name and express your sentence in gratitude. This is an example. Name, I am grateful for what? So here we go. Paul, I'm grateful for our time together. While our marriage did end, I learned a lot. I'm so much wiser today, and I use what I learned from our marriage in many of my relationships today. Number 2, Paul, I'm grateful for everything you did to try and make our marriage work because 10 years of marriage means you did try. Number 3, Paul, I am grateful to you for our children. The joy I receive from them every day could not be without you. Number 4, Paul, I'm grateful to you for the hard work and long hours you put in to support our family while I was at home taking care of our children. It was a big responsibility to have all of us dependent on you. So thank you. Number 5, Paul, I am grateful to you for the precious moments I had with our children as they grew up. I got to see our children talk and walk for the first time, and I know you didn't have the opportunity. Number 6, Paul, I'm grateful for your support when I went through a difficult time of grief and loss. Number 7, Paul, I am grateful to you for the times when I was sick and you did your best to take care of me and the children. Number 8, Paul, I am grateful for the times we had, and we did have many. Number 9, Paul, I am grateful that you want to continue to be a father to our children. Number 10, Paul, I am grateful for your support and the time you want to give to our children. I know they mean as much to you as they do to me. By the time you finish your gratitude list of 10 things, you should feel much better about the person and the relationship. The ultimate point you want to reach is where you don't have any bad feelings toward the person anymore, because it's your life that is harmed by those feelings. Excuse me. Every relationship is different. If need be, you may choose to repeat this magical practice over several days until you reach the point where you don't have any bad feelings toward that person anymore. If you are using gratitude's magical power to improve a current relationship, you will see the relationship begin to change miraculously before your eyes. It only takes one person to magically change a relationship through gratitude. But it's the person who uses gratitude who receives the most benefits in their whole life. If you choose a past relationship where you are not in contact with the person anymore, you will feel a peace and happiness fill you. And at the same time, you will see other current relationships in your life magically improve. In the future, if a relationship becomes challenging, remember to use this magical practice immediately. You will stop the difficulties before they get any bigger, and instead, you will increase the magic in the relationship. So, this is magic practice number 15. Magically heal your relationships. Number 1, count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful. This is the daily practice, guys. Reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. Remember, every day we're writing 10 things, you're saying 10 things, you're thinking 10 things. It helps if you write them. But the part that I feel like blesses me the most is when I take the time to write why you're grateful. That is the part. Why are you grateful for it? Number 2, choose one difficult, problematic, or broken relationship that you want to improve. Number 3, sit down and make a written list of 10 things you're grateful for about that person you've chosen. Write it down in the following way. Write their name, I'm grateful for, and what is it? Now, I'm going to take a minute and just look, your girl always look, I always got a story. I always have a story. And so I've talked about before, I was very young when I got married. I married my high school sweetheart. Just an amazing young man at the time. Looked just a beautiful bow-legged, cute thing. He was so cute. He was so cute. And I ended up getting pregnant my senior year in high school. And so my ex-husband asked me to marry him when we were graduating from high school. Now, initially, I said no to him. And I think I've shared this before on one of the other podcasts. Maybe I can't remember which one. But nevertheless, I said no initially. And it wasn't because I didn't love him. It was mainly because I just felt like we were young. He played football. He had football scholarships. I wanted us to go to school, go to college. And then I thought, we can get married after then. When I said no, my ex-husband, I thought I didn't love him, and he left and moved to California with his father. And so I remember my little young mind like, well, I'm not going to be sitting around in Texas worried about him and crying over him. He left. I can leave too. So I left and moved to Baltimore. And we were apart for about a month. And for the month of June, I'll never forget, for the month of June. And we finally talked, and he was like, I miss you. And I was like, I miss you too. And I told him, I said, we can get married. I said, I didn't, it wasn't that I didn't love you. I said, I don't want you to think I don't love you. I'm like, we can get married. I don't care. I just don't want to be apart. Right. And so July the 7th, 1995, we got married. And so normally throughout life, before I started this very intentional healing journey, whenever I talked about that relationship, I talk about my husband or my ex-husband coming home saying he didn't want to be married anymore. Can you believe it? He said he didn't want to be married anymore. I didn't even want to get married the first time. I said no. How dare he come into, and he did this and he did that, and, blah, 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 and just go on this whole thing. And for, I think I was about 28, so at least 6 or 7 years, everything that happened to me was his fault. The relationships that didn't work out was his fault. I ain't even supposed to be out here dating anyway. If he would have done what he was supposed to do, blah, 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 right? All of the stuff. My financial troubles that I was having. I'm not supposed to be out here figuring everything out by myself. I should have a husband. My husband should be, yeah, we should be figuring things out together. Right? Just angry. Right. And I did not realize, because I think in my mind, I was really trying to be like my mom, where I knew that there was some ugliness, like in the beginning of my mom and my dad's separation. And I had even seen some ugliness in my mom and my dad and other relationships that my mom had had. But my mom has always been friends with her exes, always, all of them, right? And we all hung out together. We all would, and I'm saying would because, most of them have passed away at this point. But we all would hang out together. My stepfather, we went to the crab feast. We hung out. We had Sunday dinners. We did all of the things together, even though I know it was really nasty. And so when we separated, I know that I was really, looking at that example that I had and like knowing that things always worked out, and more so thinking about the children, because I think my mom always looked at it from the aspect of my children first, and what happened between us happened, and that was it. And so that's how I process it. And so it was very subconscious that I had this blaming, and this thing and this underlying anger. Um, and so, but when I got to a point of healing, and this has just been within the last 5 years, I started my healing journey in 2019. And one of the things that I did is I realized I got to a point where I wanted to truly forgive. Like I thought that I forgave because we've hung out and we've had, conversations, and we can laugh and we can talk and all of the stuff. And I've always done that, again, from that example with my mom, right? But deep down, it was still something there, right? So I remember I called my ex-husband when I got very intentional again about 5 years ago. And um, we had a conversation. And what I realized is that, again, I had always looked at it from what I lost. I always looked at it from my point of view. I never looked at his loss, his losses, and what he may be grieving and how he may be grieving. And this really helped me get to just, I call it the what's in the pit of your belly healing, way deep, deep down in there. Well, I told y'all in the beginning that the man had football scholarships, right? How much he loved football. And he said to me that night, he said, Michelle, he said, do you ever remember me watching a football game? And I thought about that thing. So not only did he give up his football scholarships, his football career, whatever hopes and dreams that he may have had, all I can look at it was that he came home and said he didn't want to be married anymore. But he was a baby, y'all. I was 18, he was 19. He tried, right? And yeah, it didn't work out. But he did what most grown men can't do. He tried. And he tried for 2 years, right? And so the journey and everything that he had to go through, and he went to the service, and whatever all he had to endure in basic training for the army, you know what I mean? Trying to provide and all of the pressures and all of the things that come with that. Can I not be grateful for him trying? So I'm asking you and I'm saying to you, and all of the people and all of the things and the animosity and the underlying anger and the stuff that we carry for these people that at one period of point of time we love so much, right? That loved us so much. Can you find something? Can you find some positive in the crazy of that person? Not for them, for you, honey, for you. Because at the end of the day, that cold that, Buddha talked about is real. The other thing I know for sure is that anger, um, pain, hurt, grief, those losses that we don't acknowledge, all that, all that energy, all that negative energy circulating in your body, you know what it looks like and you know what it develops into? Cancer cells, inflammation, diabetes, strokes, heart attacks, headaches, chronic pain, irritable bowel syndrome, reflux. Google it, right? So who's suffering at the end of the day? It's not for them. It is for you. So on this day, again, honoring those people that went to work yesterday and that may not have made it home today, right? We're honoring the people that have been um, tragically lost, in honor of that person in your life, in honor of whoever may have been in your life before that's not there now, in honor of your relationship, in honor of you, honey, in honor of you, because you're worth it. At the end of the day, I believe that we are not here to just exist. We're actually here to live. And you can't live truly in generational wealth. That is an abundance of love, joy, peace, happiness, understanding, and faith, carrying around all that angst from these unhealed relationships. That's all I got for you, girls. I gotta go. I'll be back tomorrow with day 16. Your girl is back. You like my hair? Mm, 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 mm. Action. She ready. She ready. No. Look, back with some new hair. Back with some. We are living, honey. We are living. We are living on this week that is Holy Week, right? This Friday is Good Friday. Jesus lived. This week is the week, honey, celebrating life. We're celebrating life. Okay? Yes, okay. All right. I'm done. I'm done. Look, I'm done for real this time. I'm done for real. It's your girl, Michelle Franklin, Miss Michelle Allen Franklin, honey, Mrs. DI, baby. Why for divine intervention, baby? This has been a divine intervention. Go back to the beginning and watch all of this. You need every moment of it, okay? Yes. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl is always going to give you the good information, honey. I'm giving you the things that you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions to have those necessary conversations. Uncomfortable? Yeah. But necessary conversations. You need to have a who? With you, boo. Uh-huh. Yeah. So your girl is like Mr. Les Brown, honey. I aspire to inspire until I expire, honey. That's what I'm doing. What you doing? I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.